Nuclear war, the total destruction of a country, its infrastructure, its economic base, and more importantly, the lives of its people. For over 50 years, the world has had the ability to wage nuclear war. Yet in spite of numerous predictions of doomsday, it has never happened. Why? Because nobody wins. When everything has been destroyed, the whole exercise becomes pointless. World leaders recognize this, and for over 50 years have decided not to play. Yet within modern America, another form of nuclear war occurs on an almost daily basis. I'm talking about divorce and its effect upon a family. Think about it. A divorce typically destroys a family's infrastructure, its economic base, and more importantly, the lives of everyone involved. It is in effect intra-family nuclear war. Nobody wins, and everyone involved, from relatives to family friends to the children, are scarred for life.
Cheese!
Perfect. In America today, 6 out of every 10 marriages end in divorce. In some states like California, the rate is even higher. But is this runaway divorce rate simply a sign of the times? Or is it a symptom of a much deeper problem within our society?
Social conditioning is a really important factor in relationships because men and women are socialized quite differently. Men are socialized to be very competitive. They're socialized to act like a man, pick yourself up. Men don't cry. Women are given dolls to play with at birth. They're given how you take care of, how you nurture things. So it's a social, and it's also a right brain, left brain hemisphere type conditioning. And I think too that in advertising and everything in the media, we really perpetuate the myths of the differences and the chasm between men and women, because we continue that socialization in those ways.
I mean, I got married when I was 20 years old, and my wife was at the time 18 years old, and you think that the world is just a place that it's a fairy tale land. I mean, you don't expect the roller coaster ride that sometimes does happen down the road from financial pressures and career pressures and having children and buying a house. And for myself, I mean, those pressures were enormous. I think that pressure in general, trying to make one's life a better life for the family and your children, adds stress in a marriage. And I don't think people start out thinking that they're going to have the trouble. I don't think any people get involved in a marriage, young or old, no matter where you are, first or second marriage, thinking that it's not going to work. I think that you do have the best intentions. There's love involved.
I had a relatively happy marriage. I had what I like to say is a sports marriage. We were very, very young. We roller skated, we snow skied, we water skied, we played in the boat, and we had a very active, for everybody else looking on, we had the perfect marriage. The cause of the divorce in the first place was we really treated each other very badly in our private time. Looking back, I can say we treated each other badly, that he was like this monster. And the reality of it is that here were two people that didn't want to be married, got married, and that negative to each other.
Robbie and I broke up because Robbie didn't spend time with me or the family. The situation was that I worked days, he worked nights, and we both had weekends off. But because he felt that he needed to go off and do his own thing on the weekends without me or without the children, and it went on for months and months that way till I just couldn't take it anymore.
I've had a great marriage with her, but the problems were it was almost like a standoff with the children. Who's going to change the diaper, who's going to do this and that, and I wish that now looking back on it, one of us has just done it, and go on. The thing that I see that really hurt us was the mother. And Sherry would be in tears getting on the airplane, coming back to Tucson when we were married. It's the guilt trip that why didn't you stay with us more? And it's just, I don't know, it's like sabotage.
Communication, the simple ability of being able to talk with one another effectively. It's the key to world affairs, any type of business venture, and most definitely the key to a successful marriage. It seems so simple, but the fact is, nothing is more difficult. Why? Because, believe it or not, men and women communicate differently.
The differences in being a man or a woman biologically has a lot to do with their emotional process when they're communicating with each other. For instance, a woman can be doing 2 or 3 things at once. She can be talking on the phone, she can be listening to her children, she can be stirring spaghetti on the stove, she can be then doing something with her toe, making an appointment for the next day. Whereas a man, if you put him in the same situation, he would just scream and run and go crazy, because typically they're pretty focused. Men generally, and this is a generalization, not every man is like this, but they're typically focused on, okay, we need to address this problem. We need to get the problem taken care of, and I need to get to that problem from X, Y to Z. And that's how I do it. I can't do it with all this other stuff going on.